K98 Talk is expanding its lineup for 2015. This means we are expanding our advertising base. Whether you're a startup trying to push through to the next level or an established business trying to supplement your advertising budget, web-based advertising is a solid investment. Thanks to Talk's newest partnership with TuneIn Radio and instant access to our sister station, K98 FM, we give you worldwide access at a reasonable cost. Interested parties should email us at sales@k98fm.com.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
To get up to like $68,000. My heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
Wondering why you're up early with us on a Sunday morning making a cocktail? News lately got you drinking? Hung over from the mainstream media by Sunday? We are, and we got you covered.
We sure do. We got your hangover cure for those weekly news blues. So sit back, top off your mimosa, and add some Baileys to that.
A match to your copy of the New York Times. Light, funny, and oh yeah, news with booze.
And a lot of laughter.
Welcome to Bloody Marys and Broadsheets. And a very good, easy Sunday morning, August 9th, 2015, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's been a little while, but that means it's JD and Stacey, Bloody Marys and Broadsheets here on K98 Talk. And today, Stacey and I are giving you the privilege because we are broadcasting live from Red State Gathering 2015. Everybody right now, get over to K98Talk.com, get in the chat room, say hello to Stacey, everybody else that's been nice enough to come over with us this morning. Today, folks, we are going to paint the picture for you and bring you inside Red State 2015. We're going to be talking the debates, of course. And according to Obama, we're all mullahs now, and you got to stay around for segment 3 because I'm not making this up. The Sanford and Son crowd, baby, disrupts Uncle Bernie again. Did he or did he not, Miss Lennox?
Oh, yes, they did. They actually pushed him off the stage.
Can we just do that and then end the show? I mean, everybody will wet themselves over this, and we can just be done with the whole thing. Stacey and I are very happy to be back with everybody. I know that we haven't seen you on Sunday. Then I couldn't do it. Then she couldn't do it. We're all back. She's feeling better. She is a hell of a trooper. Anything that she could not attend as she recovers, Lou and I from Red Nation Rising picked up the slack. So we got 110% 3D, 365 whole conglomeration angle for them, right, baby?
Absolutely, and I just want to thank everybody in the listening audience for your well wishes. I'm in good hands with a great doctor, so I'm going to keep trying to be live on the air until this whole thing resolves.
Yeah, nice job, you bunch of knee-licking, suck-up kiss asses. Nobody ever asked what's wrong with JD when he's not around. Oh, what a bunch of crap. What a bunch of crap.
Hey, I asked Lou to fix you while we were here, and she said you're hopeless. So.
I think the quote of Red State 2015 is, I can't fix you, JD. I can't. I've tried.
I tried. It's not
nothing
fixable.
I can do. I just cannot done it.
Well, there is a question in the chat room as to whether or not you've had to post bail yet.
This should sum it up.
Lottie, we like the party.
So, yeah, every once in a while we get myself in a little trouble. No, the closest I came to bail, it wouldn't have been bail because it would have been federal. All right. So, JD was flying from New York to Atlanta. That's about a 2.5 hour flight, something like that, okay? U.S. Airways, I hope you're listening. I hope there's an executive from U.S. Airways listening right now, you bunch of skellbags, because the best thing you could do is buy a spot on this show. You want to talk about a four-flushing, useless, do-nothing airline? And if you don't believe me, check out Flight 873 on Thursday. These lions, this country sends commercial planes to third world country and flies people back here who aren't citizens. I get stuck in a plane at a gate that they won't let us off of, like we're in Gitmo, for 4.5 hours. Don't even get me started.
It sounds like you already are.
Already are what?
Started.
Oh, shut up. Listen, it's been a while, so it's time for that weekend update, your weekly news encapsulated in about a minute and a half, brought to you by that Eric Williams of that barbedwiresatire.com, baby. In the aftermath of the GOP debate, everybody seems to be taking sides. Some defending Trump, some defending Megyn Kelly, some defending Fox News. And here we thought it was Barack Obama's job to divide us.
On Monday, the Senate failed to advance a procedural vote on defunding Planned Parenthood. The vote was just for show and with no intention of really accomplishing anything. So as of today, the only thing the McConnell Senate excels at is passing his gas.
He said, she said continues between Megyn Kelly and Donald Trump, between Chris Christie and Rand Paul, between Fox News and their viewers. If you're still wondering if the debate format did more harm than good, just remember this. If Debbie Wasserman Schultz and the liberal media are praising the debate, you know you're doing it wrong.
It was announced this week that the FBI was finally looking into Hillary's secret email server setup. The FBI isn't accusing Ms. Clinton of any wrongdoing at this point, but they were worried that unless they acted quickly, the queen of the Democratic Party might have gone a whole week without a major scandal.
Okay, terrific.
Another in a series of Planned Parenthood undercover videos was released this week, and this time a nurse admits she finds it fun and exciting to dissect babies. Planned Parenthood spokesman Satan said in a statement he still doesn't understand what all the controversy is about.
And President Obama, speaking about the Iran nuclear deal at American University, said Iran's leaders constantly chanting death to America does not represent all of the people of Iran. He went on to remind the crowd that the insane actions of a few only represent the whole when you're talking about conservatives.
And that is your weekend news, weekend weekly update brought to you by Mr. Eric Erickson. I'm so shot. We're live broadcasting from the Grand Hyatt here down in Buckhead in Atlantic, Georgia. No, Eric Erickson didn't write that for us. That was Eric Williams of that barbedwiresatire.com, baby. However, for those of you... However, for those of you who may have seen this, and again, please, there's too much jersey wearing. This is not picking a candidate, not picking a candidate. Eric Erickson gave the Donald a little bit of his own theme song and some of You're Fired as the keynote speaker. You're so vain.
You're fired. 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 You're fired.
You know, now that I just played that, do you know what we should have done?
What?
We should have had that Vine loaded.
Oh, my God.
I just want to play the Night at the Roxbury music right now.
Oh, that was hysterical. Yeah. Well, I mean...
Lottie, we like the party.
Donald Trump does make some absolutely fantastically mockable faces.
Well, let me tell you something. I mean, some of the comments he made, you think people are going crazy about what he said about Megyn Kelly. They caught him off mic saying this.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Unbelievable.
God. Oh, dear. Okay, terrific.
Okay, so we were just down at
Red State.
Okay, terrific.
Thank you. And it wasn't one of those.
Giggity, 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 let's have sex.
But man, was it a lot of fun, was it not?
Yes, it absolutely was.
So
We did end up kind of getting a front row seat to this nice war between Donald Trump and Fox News. He was supposed to be the keynote speaker here last night at something called the Red State Tailgate, and following some of his commentary on Twitter and other places after the debate, Eric Erickson decided that would not be happening. So we were kind of watching the Twitter storm and the commentary. One thing I can tell you, this event was packed.
Very well.
We had some really neat protesters yesterday.
Who, the Mammon
3
idiots?
of them.
The Mammon idiots.
Yeah.
Well, we have audio from that protest.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, hold on. The 3 who had the pamphlets, right?
Right.
Yeah, I got some of this on my recorder. Hold on.
I hate this place. Nothing works here. The medications don't work. I've been here for 7 years.
Don't you do it! Don't you! I got nowhere else to go!
No, they were a little bit interesting. But there was only 3 of them, and there was not some huge backlash that he was not speaking. It did not mean, yesterday the speeches were packed, according to Lou. The tailgate was still very crowded. It really didn't seem to affect the conference much at all.
No, and I'll tell you the truth, I was very surprised. Of all the people speaking, I thought that... Here, we have some of the audio from Lindsey Graham's speech. Hold on.
I know what boys like. I know what guys want. I know what boys like.
Oh, my God.
Listen, I'm sorry. When we were recapping last night and we were going to look at the debates, he was awful even the first one. But I think that one of the things for people, I honestly, these major conferences, I highly recommend to anybody, look, if you're listening to our show on a Sunday morning and you're in the chat room, you're a very politically active-minded person and probably politically savvy, I recommend you going to one of these conferences. You're literally going to be rubbing elbows and speaking with people who may be leading the free world one day. You see a lot of other like-minded activists. There's booth upon booth. We had the Mary Catherine Ham. We had the Guy Benson interview that Mary Catherine Ham couldn't make. Every time we run into them, they're nothing but gracious. I think that people who sit here from the outside looking in and they say to themselves, wow, what could I do? How could I do this? I don't know. Stacey and I weren't doing this a year ago, and now there's a business here, a contract here, a guest here. I just... Let's give them a painted picture of what to expect at one of these conferences. And before we do that, the one thing that I'm concerned about, Stace, is that, and again, these conferences and events and in primaries, you're dealing with a lot of activists and things like that. I am concerned about when you see people this early in the process that have picked their candidate or their guy or their girl or whatever it is, and you see them at some of these events, like when we were watching the debates, they're almost cheering for the other candidates to lose or mess up who aren't their guy. That concerns me because people seem to be so vested in their own candidate, I am afraid they will stay home if their guy doesn't get it.
Well, and in a field this large, that is doubly concerning. But we've actually seen jersey wearing going all the way back to CPAC. You had Stand With Rand. You had Run, Ben, Run. These were even before the announcements, and people already had their jerseys on.
But here's the difference to my mind. CPAC being that it was the beginning, really before anybody had announced, it was a much happier jersey wearing. Everybody was standing next to them wearing their guy's jersey, and, oh, my guy's good, and I love your guy too. Things seem to be getting a little nasty a little quick, and I'm talking intra-party. I'm not talking between the right and the left.
Yeah, no, kind of, it was a joke, meant to be funny in the weekend update. But when Debbie Wasserman Schultz is praising what's going on, we all ought to be taking a good hard look internally and saying, why is that happening?
Oh, and a big shout out to Dave Weigel from the Washington Post, who loves us so much he personally travels across the country to follow JD and Stacey.
Oh, my God. Seriously?
Hi, Dave.
Well, at least you weren't stalked by the Alan West lookalike.
Oh, we saw Alan West stunt double. Dude, I don't know what your name is, but if you listen to this show, my man, you should go to Vegas and, like, do the Alan West, like, kind of Elvis impersonator thing. I'm going to win this election. I'm not going to grab ass in the office. Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Enough.
So, who do you think gave...
Okay, terrific.
Who do you think gave the... Did you think of the people that you saw speak, there was one that stood out above and beyond?
I mean, you know, I find it impossible to dislike Jeb Bush as much as I dislike him when he's speaking because he always seems so affable.
I don't know.
Seriously. I mean, like in the debate watch party, he got a lot of booze. A lot of booze when he was talking about immigration. But he seems very authentic and genuine to me, so that always surprises me because I am so, like, not thrilled with a dynastic presidency.
But he doesn't inspire me. He puts his head down, he talks into his chest. I'm not my brother. Florida, Common Core, act of love.
Yeah, I know, but it's just, you know, I think Carly Fiorina is getting a lot of attention. I think because of her low name recognition, a lot of people are seeing her for the first time, you know, in hearing her positions. I know you don't like him, but I'm telling you right now, Bobby Jindal gave a kick butt speech.
Ugh, Bobby Jindal is a boob. He's an absolute boob. And look, Bobby Jindal is not a boob, okay? Bobby Jindal's assessment of putting himself in this field, in this race, to my mind, is asinine. It is completely asinine. Because, and this goes back to the number of people within the field itself. But I heard you and Lou both say, did you think that he gave the best speech here?
It was certainly a lot better than I expected. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was very engaging. He was very passionate. He, you know, one of the quotes that we saw during the debate that you really liked that he used again is immigration without assimilation is invasion. And he talks about his own parents' immigration experience. One of the things that I find really, really interesting about this particular field, when you take a broad look at it, take the Bush out, take the Trump out, because they're very moneyed people. Okay.
Wait.
Okay, no, stop.
Don't
even
Bush?
start. Do not.
Giggity, let's have sex.
Do not. Oh my God. Now my head hurts. If you take the folks who were kind of born into some kind of money out of the race, if you look at Marco Rubio, if you look at Ted Cruz, even if you look at Chris Christie, Bobby Jindal, you know, these guys all have very middle America stories. And I don't think we've really seen a group that comes from that particular place like this before.
No, and one of the things I want to tease as we close out the first segment, one of the things that we had the opportunity to do, Carly Fiorina is an absolutely phenomenal speaker. I mean, she's a phenomenal speaker in person. She's a phenomenal speaker on television. Stacey and I had the fantastic opportunity to attend a very small gathering and be so close. I mean, she was spitting on you when she was talking. We also had...
She doesn't spit.
I'm just kidding. We also had the great fortune yesterday to... This is what they call a tease. For our listening audience, we're going to be bringing you some fun guests soon, baby. We're going to be bringing you somebody on the radio that ain't nobody been having. Ain't that right, Stacey?
Absolutely. We're going to try.
As a matter of fact, when I was doing... See, there's a thing called JDing, right? And that's just being JD, baby, and getting it done. And I'm moving through the crowd, and I'm JDing, and we made a couple of campaign contacts, and I actually made an ask. And the feedback to me was... Wow, let me tell you something. That is going to be one of this person's first major interviews. So, tease it, and let's make sure we please it, right, babe?
Mm-hmm.
But I think the whole, 30 seconds left, Stacey. Tell people why they should attend events like this.
I think it's just really important to see folks interacting with each other. Like you said, there's a lot of high-profile people in this movement, and what you find is they are very down to earth. They're very friendly and very accessible. I mean, we've chatted with Byron York. We've chatted with Mary Catherine Ham and Guy Benson. We've chatted with Charles C.W. Cook. Very approachable and very open to sitting there and having a discussion.
Absolutely. And coming back on the other side of the break here on K98 Talk, get in that chat room, K98TalkRightNow.com. JD and Stacey here on Bloody Marys and Broadsheets. We're going to be bringing you some of that debate flavor. So everybody right now, put a little more booze in that coffee, and we're back. See you in 2. Well, maybe we'll see you in 3 because it's been so long and JD's so tired, he's in the wrong show's board. Actually, folks, we'll be back in 3 minutes and 10 seconds.
The staff of K98 Talk and the Spark Radio Network is proud to announce that our very own Rowdy Rick Robinson has been selected as one of the top conservative talk show hosts in the nation for his program America Off the Rails. Again, congratulations to Rowdy Rick Robinson for a job well done and another reason to stay connected to K98 Talk and the Spark Radio Network.
If you like your health care plan, you'll be able to keep your health care plan.
This is the most transparent administration in history. Not even a smidgen of corruption.
Fact is, we had 4 dead Americans. What difference at this point does it make?
If you got a business, you didn't build that.
The feeling most people get when they hear Barack Obama speak, I felt this thrill going up my leg. I don't have that too often.
Steady.
It's time to hear the truth about America's biggest challenges. Ricky Robinson, host of America Off the Rails, will tackle the important issues facing America today as he tries to keep America from coming off the track. Get ready to hear the truth every Monday through Friday starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, here on K98Talk.com and the Spark Radio Network.
Welcome to the face. Welcome to the face of the new democracy.
Red Nation Rising brings you Town Hall Radio.
From a single tweet to 3 million a month, our community is a force to be reckoned with on social media.
So don't miss our show, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern on K98 Talk.
Our chat room is our co-host, and you ask the question.
Join us and be heard.
So get ready to sound off on Red Nation Rising Radio. No one else is going to do it for you.
There's a wild, wild whisper blowing in the wind, calling out my name like a long lost friend.
K98Talk.com, a leader in internet radio. So grab your seatbelts and take the ride of your life on K98Talk.com.
Welcome back to that Bloody Marys and Broadsheets. JD and Stacey here on that K98 Talk. Everybody right now, get over to K98Talk.com. Get in the chat room. Say hello to Stacey. I know Slickery Trigger. Mevin's probably all of the good people. And remember, folks, remember, you can find us every morning live at 11 a.m. Sunday here with that Bloody Marys and Broadsheets on K98 Talk. Tuesday night, you find us live 10 p.m. Eastern Live for that Game On, baby. Thursday night again, 9 p.m. And Thursday night, remember, Thursday night is the 2-hour radio block. You got that 8 p.m. radio Red Nation Rising with that Jared and Lou, baby. Then you got JD and Stacey at 9. And when you're not listening to us live, everybody, you can keep drinking all you want. You get over to Spreaker.com, hashtag JD and Stacey, and JD and Stacey, JD and Stacey, JD and Stacey. You find a catalog of everything what we got going on. Ain't that right, baby?
Absolutely.
Coming back here into segment number 2 as we come into the bottom of the 11 o'clock hour, Stacey and I are going to be talking a little bit of the GOP debates, both of them, the early and the late one. And the one thing you got to love about that Bloody Marys and Broadsheets, baby, we're going to be giving you that 110% debate information without ever discussing the comments about menstruation.
Yeah, no, we're not going there. You know, but in all honesty, watching it,
You're fired.
I just had to fire him for a second. I'm sorry.
No, I know, but in all honesty, watching the question, everybody's saying Fox News just ripped these people and da-da-da-da-da. I thought, especially in terms of their records for Christie and Jindal and folks, they brought out what are potentially some warts on these guys' records that they need to account for. And I don't personally have a problem with that.
No, and I think that goes back to the comment that I made earlier about the jersey wearing, and it does concern me because Stacey and I, we were at a live debate again, and JD, it took him 4 days on 5 camels and 2 mules to get from New York to Atlanta. So I was in the air. And
have problems with airlines going to conferences.
Oh
I
my
mean, that's
God,
just
it's
it.
absolutely terrific.
Anyway.
Let me tell you something. The airlines and conferences just make me. Ooh, I'm better. You know what it is? I think like every 3 months I'm just going to move near the conference. So this way I don't have to worry about the whole night. But one of the things that you and I were speaking about is because we went back, because we love the audience so much, baby. Stacey and I went back and we watched both of the debates again. And to my mind, and I think the Stacey's as well, nobody won either one of the debates. But nobody lost either one of the debates because I happen to think I finally found a debate format that I liked because it wasn't about winners and losers. You cannot do that in a 10-person field on a stage. All right, if you want to do a 3-hour Lincoln Douglas debate between 2 people, yes, then that's a cage match. One enters, one loses. I happen to think that the questions were good. I think they were pointed. I think it's almost to the opposite where you have some other outlets, whether it's CNN or whether it's MSNBC or anybody else who's going to host the debates, and you'll see them try and sandbag a Republican or a conservative. I think in this particular instance, in both of these debates, the questions were really good because they weren't softball. They were, I thought, Chris Christie, great answer on New Jersey. He knew the question was coming about the 9 downgrades. John Kasich, to my mind, I think we agreed that I thought has the best transitions and has figured out how to address and deal with Donald Trump directly better than anybody else in the field. And I think that the way the moderators asked the questions, I think led to you being able to get a lot of substantive answers out of these people. And they didn't back off. Mike Huckabee went into applying the 5th and the 14th Amendments to unborn children. I mean, there were some radical plans in there. There was a flat tax plan. There was a VAT and a consumption. There was a lot that was talked about.
No, and I think it was good to hear, again, because, the news coverage has been so focused on, to me, what is really not important in this race, which is personalities and poking each other personally. I don't care. I want to know from you, candidate A, candidate B, what is this country going to look like in 2020 if you get 4 years in office? What are your priorities and what are you going to address first? Because, I mean, to me and to my mind, we have foreign policy issues. We have domestic issues. There are so many things that need to be rolled back to get this economy going again. And, not all of them are taking the same approach. I mean, they might have the same idea about what some of the problems are. But like you said, I mean, Huckabee's answer on the 5th and 14th Amendment as an answer to the abortion debate, kind of amazing. And I was impressed in the primetime debate. They did train a lot on Hillary Clinton, more than most of those candidates traditionally have been.
Well, I think
they have been attacking the Obama Clinton doctrine, if you will.
I think they smell blood in the water. The one thing that I would like to take issue with Fox about, I think that if you're going to have 2 separate debates at 2 separate times, you need to have them be the same format. You could have turned out just a bigger crowd for those people that were on the stage at 5 o'clock as they did for the crowd that was on there at 9 o'clock. And, you know, I'm not saying one was better than the other. I'm just saying if you're going to do it that way, to my mind, make sure that you do it within the same format. Now, there are a couple of people in this election that honestly
need to go away.
They do, because they're a complete waste of time. And this isn't picking sides. This is literally going through to try this. Take Gilmore. Gilmore has not been in office for 13 years. Do the math. That means the last election and campaign he had, as an incumbent, by the way, which is going to be a soft one, was about 17 years ago. Honestly, if I was moderating for Fox for the debates, I would have had 2 questions for people like Pataki and Gilmore and the other end of these bobbleheaded nothings.
What is your major malfunction, numbnuts? Did your parents have any children that lived?
Sir, yes, sir.
I bet they regret that. You're so ugly you could be a modern art masterpiece.
And then I would have asked them to kindly get off the stage and stop wasting the country's time.
Yeah, I mean, in such a crowded field, I can't understand, I guess, what the motivation is. I mean, is it just, well, if everybody's going to do it, I'm going to do it? Or do they really think that they can overcome in a field like this when they have very little? I mean, Pataki's last national name recognition was post 9/11 with Rudy Giuliani.
Hey, listen, he's been out of office, I think he's been out of public life for about 8 or 10 years. But I think that the point to this more broadly is, Ezra Fox. Ezra Klein. What a jerk off this kid is. He had this whole thing about, there was supposed to be this really, really strong field, and it ended up being crap. And I'm like, guy, are you kidding me?
Sorry.
Exactly. But I want to go, and I want to take a couple of specific moments in the debate. I kept turning to you and saying to you when we were watching it together after it was live, I am eminently disappointed in Rand Paul, his campaign,
oh my God,
his performance. I really am.
The only thing that Rand Paul said during that entire debate that made an impact on me, well, I happen to agree with him on the national security piece. I think Chris Christie is way too much of a hawk. But his closing statement is absolutely accurate, and this is what you can't figure out. He beats Hillary Clinton in purple states.
Well, that's what that was that, and this goes to early polling, but this also goes to Americans. I mean, this goes back to the Iraq War. 95% of the people said we should go to war in Iraq, and then 92% of the people said we shouldn't. Yeah, I mean, it's as American as apple pie.
Yeah, when you look at the head-to-head matches with Democrats, it does not match the polling for that's primary choice at all. I mean, it is just really one of the most confusing things I'm looking at.
You see Trump that's consolidating polls up in the 30s, yet head-to-head in states against Hillary, he's further down the pack and beating them. Then you take Rand Paul.
Well, he doesn't beat Bernie Sanders in key states.
Hold on a second. Then you take Rand Paul, who just made the cut to get into the top 10 tier. He's beating Hillary in more states, has been in tighter margins with her in head-to-heads, but it's not reflected in the national. So there's something going on somewhere. I hate polls. I hate polling. It's very early. But, folks, take the jerseys off, take your pen and paper out, and listen to these people. And honestly, at events like this, if you hear that a candidate is having some kind of a forum or an event near you, go. You can ask Carly Fiorina questions. You can ask Rick Perry a question. You can ask Mike Huckabee a question. Not through their people and shout it to you. They are campaigning for president because they need and want to talk to people. So if you consider yourself a serious-minded politico, you don't just have to absorb this material from the debate. Get out there and attend some of these conferences. But going back to the debates, I thought they were good. There was one question I didn't like that I thought was kind of a sandbag. I'm trying to think of which one it was. Because remember I said to you I thought it was kind of a nasty throw out? But other than that, I have got to tell you something. Surprise of all surprises, for those of you who didn't see it, the biggest meat axe swing taken at Donald Trump was by who of all people, Stacey?
Rand Paul?
No, Huckabee.
Oh, yeah, statement. No, that one at the end, I forgot about that. That was epic.
That was his closing statement. And I thought that for those of you who didn't see it, it was something we can't have somebody on a debate stage who has never been a politician and is plagued by scandals and has donated to Democrats. And everybody's looking, he's like, I'm talking about Hillary Clinton. And every person on that stage and in that room until he said that thought he was talking about Donald Trump.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a direct shot and it was meant to be that way. I mean, I actually found Huckabee during the debate to be extremely entertaining. I mean, he's been a commentator. He knows how to play to a camera. You know, I liked a lot of what Ted Cruz had to say, but first of all, he has the Miss America wave. Seriously, like, watch it. It's Miss America.
I love Ted Cruz, but anybody who looks at me seriously and doesn't say he looks like Count Chocula is a liar.
Okay, he has these very stiff movements that he does when he's on a stage. He just doesn't look like I've been here before.
What did you say?
And so, huh?
What did you say, stiff?
Like his arm with the wave.
Seen
it's
a
the
grown
Miss
man
America
naked?
wave.
He does.
It's just, robotic maybe? I don't know what the right word is.
Well,
So, anyway.
I thought was interesting is, there was nobody. People I thought were very specific for the most part when they were trying to get their points and their plans across. And like I said, go back and watch these debates if you haven't seen them. They were very bold in my mind with some of the policy prescriptions and what people would do and how they see the state of the race and why they think they should be the one that should be running. But what I found more interesting than anything else, even from just a sociological point of view, was how each candidate came into that debate prepared to and how they actually handled Donald Trump. And it was markedly different across the board, depending on the candidate. If my memory serves me correctly, Rand Paul was the first out of the box, really taking some swipes pointedly at Trump.
Actually, Perry did it because they asked him directly.
Well, but that was in a different debate. I'm talking about when they were on stage with him.
Rand Paul took the biggest swings, but I guess somebody in chat was saying that Huckabee was saying that Rand Paul was actually ill.
Oh, I didn't like his performance. I thought
he didn't look good. He looked really peaked. It was just bizarre.
I thought that Perry's delivery. Perry's a lot better one-on-one than he's in these debate settings. But let me go back to the point that I was making. I thought that it was very interesting to see how each of the candidates at the primetime debate decided to handle Trump because, again, I thought they were very markedly different. Mm-hmm. You had Kasich, who I thought had the Trump line of the night. Trump was saying that, almost everybody on that stage at some point has begged him for money and he's donated to and has given him money. And Kasich's like, no, not me, but you can give to my campaign.
Several people actually said not me, which I thought was somewhat entertaining. But, I think Carly Fiorina took a reasonable approach to it. I mean, she kind of mocked the Clinton phone call, which, has become in the news, lately. But her thing, what she and Kasich both acknowledge that the other folks are not acknowledging, if you will, is that he has tapped into an emotion of people that are frustrated with the lack of results. We put the Republican Party into the majority in the Senate and House in 2014. We have a majority of Congress, and our agenda is still stalled and stopped. People are so frustrated with this establishment, collaboration with the Democrats on some very progressive policies. It's not that we don't expect Congress to work together and negotiate at times, but I'm talking radical progressive kind of stuff. They're so frustrated that he is tapping into that anger. But I think a lot of the candidates are also trying to counteract some of his comments around immigration by saying his plan is not complete, and it's not. So, if you take a look at it, I think they're trying to address both kind of the tone as well as
to do what now?
As well as the details. They're challenging him on some of what folks have the issue that folks have gravitated towards him on, and they're really questioning. Carly Fiorina was very direct in what she said. He's been pro-choice, he's been anti-2A, he's been for taxes on the wealthy. He liked nationalized health care. I really wonder how he would govern.
Right, and again, like my whole concern has been the absolute same, and I just hope to stop seeing it. Guys on the right, conservatives, if you want to win this election, in my personal opinion, stop telling everybody who supports a candidate that you don't like or you disagree with how stupid they are. If they're vile, if they're just coming at you, then just block them on social media. We're here to change some minds, kids, because I have to tell you something. If one of these candidates does not get elected in November of 2016, God help the great republic. Coming back on the other side, Black Lives Matter stalks Uncle Bernie. And yes, folks, you heard it from Obama at American University. JD, Stacey, and all of yous are nothing but a bunch of mullers. What a jerk-off this guy is. K98 Talk coming right back.
Hey everybody, this is Jason, host of According to Me. I'd like to invite you to check out my show. It's a 2-hour show that lasts 60 minutes in...
Listen, I hate to interrupt, but one thing I can do is read off a script. Just say, let me be clear a lot. It works.
President Obama, I can handle this. It's a radio promo. I'm not green. I've done this before.
Did someone say green?
Now, Al Gore is here. Listen, I'm just trying to record a radio promo. Do you mind?
Now, do you say good things about me on the show?
No, not at all. But if it makes you feel any better, I rip on Republicans just as much.
The AM radio frequencies give off very high levels of radiation.
Look, my show is on the internet, which you invented. Can I just do my promo?
I got a pen. I can veto that, you know.
I know you got a pen. It's not a law. It's a radio promo. Listen, just listen to my show. Barack Obama and Al Gore hate it, so you're going to love it.
Here's an executive order. Don't listen to his show. He doesn't like me. He's racist. And he doesn't recycle either.
That's it. I'm done. It's According to Me, Wednesdays, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on K98 Talk.
We will never fully understand what we've asked of our military service members or their families, asking them to put themselves in harm's way, to endure it all. But we do understand that it's our turn, our duty, to keep them secure for the rest of their lives. Wounded Warrior Project long-term support programs help our most severely ill or injured veterans live independently, at no cost, for life, so that they might stand at ease. Join us at findwwp.org.
K98 Talk is expanding its lineup for 2015. This means we are expanding our advertising base. Whether you're a startup trying to push through to the next level, or an established business trying to supplement your advertising budget, web-based advertising is a solid investment. Thanks to Talk's newest partnership with TuneIn Radio and instant access to our sister station, K98 FM, we give you worldwide access at a reasonable cost. Interested parties should email us at sales@k98fm.com.
Welcome back to our favorite political geeks, sneaks, and back alley freaks, JD and Stacey, finishing up Bloody Marys and Broadsheets here on K98 Talk. Everybody right now, get over to K98Talk.com, get in the chat room, say hello to Stacey, everybody that's been nice enough to join us. Closing out the show, coming into the top of the noon hour. For anybody who missed Moron's speech at American University, you and anybody who disagrees with the Iran deal, according to President Obama, is basically...
Oh, durka, durka, durka.
And we're not going to leave you hanging because guess who visited Uncle Bernie? That's right, Black Lives Matters. Your new theme song, you bunch of jerk-offs. Ugh, let's start with Obubu at American University. Can you believe this? Hi, folks. I bet you were playing the Great Mute Game here on K98 Talk. Is Stacey with us?
Hello.
Oh,
it's the
welcome.
medication. It's the medication, JD.
Oh, really? Is that what it was? Yeah. The whole year before the medication?
Yeah. God. Anyway, yeah, the comments when I saw them, if you had any doubt, and I don't know how you could have lived through the last 6 years and doubted this at all, that the primary objective of the Obama machine is to divide people, ostracize people, and shut down any dissent, those comments just sealed the deal. I mean,
go ahead.
It was about as offensive as I think you could get in terms of talking about why folks are opposed to this deal. And then you go on a major interview and say, yeah, we couldn't get anything better from China because we need them to pay our bills. But the Republican Party is the problem in this deal? Are you kidding me?
And what Stacey's referring to specifically was a speech last week at American University that the president has given. Now, there were two things. This idiot has basically compared. And remember, Stacey, when the Iran deal was first announced, and again, we're at the mobile studios down here in Atlanta, Georgia, baby, so I'm not in my main studio with all my back notes, but I forgot who it was. Do you remember? Oh, you know who it was? It was Reuters. When the Iran deal was announced, it was Reuters who put out, almost like AP does, it was one of the first news blurbs out there saying, hey, there's going to be this deal. And in the Reuters piece, it kept conflating the hardliners in Iran with, quote, President Obama's hardliners here at home in the Republican Party. I want to say this again. President Obama's hardliners here at home in the Republican Party. Now, Chuck Schumer, not some inconsequential Democrat, but is buried up the ass tight as a tick in the Democratic Senate leadership and within the party structure itself. And he
just called Chuck Schumer a tick. Okay.
He's a detestable, smarmy jerk-off. I am a lifelong New Yorker, and I have met this guy. He cannot go away fast enough. But, folks, I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if you know this. Whatever you think about him, Charles Schumer is one of the smartest people in the United States Senate. He might be wrong about everything, but he's smart. I digress. The press allows this man to get away with this when you have serious Democrats, whether it's Menendez or whether it's Schumer or whether it was, I think Adam Schiff, they had a drag kicking and screaming and didn't know where he was going to land. They're concerned about, I think, Barbara Boxer. So about Dianne Feinstein. You have serious Democrats that have issue with this. But it is okay to tag anybody who disagrees with it on the right as a mullah. And I have another question for everybody in the press who doesn't do their job. Everybody in this administration, from Susan Rice to John Kerry, that insufferable French skell, and this idiot in the White House, everybody keeps telling us the same thing. Well, it was either the deal or war. It was either the deal or war. It was either the deal or war. You spent 2 years negotiating this piece of garbage deal, okay? In order to get this done, every news account I read day after day, week after week, month after month, and year after year involved this country giving another concession to the Iranians in this deal until the Iranians got everything that they wanted, and we basically have nothing. Now, I am sick and tired of people in this country not accepting what people say as face value. Let's take Idiot Face and all the other people on the left at their word. It was this deal or war. Well, here's my question to the administration and John Kerry. Mr. Moron and Mr. Jerkoff, during the 2 years of these negotiations, were the mullahs, was Rouhani, was the negotiating team telling you that if you did not get a deal done with them, war was coming? And have we signed that deal because the President of the United States was threatened by the Iranian regime that if they didn't get what they want, war was coming? There are 3 major networks, a bunch of cables, and people all online. And I happen to know some of you major media people listen to the show. Here's a tip and a hint. Start asking the question.
Well, and I mean, it's not only that. You know, I've always taken that commentary to mean this. If we didn't do this deal in order to stop Iran from getting a nuclear bomb, we would have had to bomb them to destroy their facilities, etc. You know, I think this was one of Rand Paul's, I thought, better answers last night. He said, I'm a Reagan Republican. I believe you come at peace through strength. The reason Obama couldn't get it done is because we have no strength left. He's decimated our military. Nobody believes we have any intestinal fortitude whatsoever.
That is called boss.
And, huh?
That is called boss. A man in this world, he has 2 things. He's got his word and his boss. And you don't break them for nobody.
But, I mean, if you stop and think about it, every Republican is saying that choice that he keeps presenting is a false choice. And I believe they're right. I mean, in my mind, the fact that we have just, what is that hooplehead's name that they've just decided he can move globally that, killed so many Americans over in Iraq? Bob number 7.
The General Soleimani, who is the head of the Iranian Al-Quds Force, which is basically, when you hear about their Revolutionary Guard and their basically paramilitary terrorist arm, that's Soleimani.
Okay, so now he can move globally, but we can't get our 4 guys back? If you look at every negotiation this administration has done, we have got nothing because we are walking around the world apologizing for who we are. That has got to change. And this Iran deal is probably the worst example of it ever. We capitulated on everything.
Hey, Mr. President, from J.D. Stacey and the entirety of our audience, I would like you to accept both extended middle fingers and a...
Okay, terrific.
I've had it with this idiot. Let's close this show out. Please, let's close this show. Please. Uncle Boiny, baby. Yeah. I love it. And for those of you new to the show, this is our Black Lives Matter theme song. Okay, so Comrade Bernie gives a speech. And for those of you who didn't see it, Republican, Democrat, Hillary or not, Bernie Sanders' last crowd was 15,000 people. He filled a 12,000-seat arena, and according to local police estimates, there were 3,000 people outside. But, Stacey, please tell the people why we're talking about this.
Because prior to that speech, he gave a speech in a park, or was supposed to give a speech in a park. And 2 ladies, and you guys rewind back to... Netroots Nation, okay?
Mr.
These
Vargas,
folks have
Mr.
shown
Vargas,
up before.
are you in charge here? Are you in charge here? The colored people are yelling.
Okay, so they took over the stage at Netroots. They impacted the speech of both Martin O'Malley and Bernie Sanders, and Martin O'Malley had to go back and apologize to them. Then, in this particular instance, his speech in the park, these 2 young women who were leaders of the Black Lives Movement in Seattle actually took over the stage and did not let Bernie Sanders speak. Now, they have also threatened to start coming to Republican events. I'm seriously saying it would not go so well.
No, especially considering that most of the events that we have gone to are in states that have concealed carry.
Mm-hmm.
So, no. But I love the fact that the progressive left has finally jumped the shark with their identity politics. It is. Let JD tell a little story that may or may not have happened in Montreal in March of 2002. And again, this may or may not have happened. There were about 20 young men in their late 20s from the state of New York who were up in Montreal for a few days to celebrate the coming marriage of a good friend. There may have been a bar where this crowd was at, and a gigantic brawl broke out to the point where the cops were called. And by the way, if you haven't been to Montreal, I swear to you, the police cars, they drive minivans. I was so screwed. Well, if this happened, I may have been so screwed when I was outside asking the cop who was about to arrest us where the baby on board sign was in the cop. Probably a bad choice. So actually what had happened was this riot breaks out in the bar. And we see this riot may have broken out in the bar. And people are fighting and this, that, and the other thing. And you know what it turned out? There were so many of us that one idiot didn't know that the other – we all were fighting each other in this bar. There was not one punch thrown between anybody in the bar that wasn't within the group that was there. This is now happening on the Democratic left.
But you know what? I mean, it's really their own chickens coming home to roost. When you put people into little boxes and when you tailor your policies, positions, and programs to address the grievances of a particular group, then those groups feel empowered to grieve to you, which is what's going on.
Of course, but that is 2 things. That is the end-all and be-all description of the progressive left. And believe it or not, baby, that's the end of the hour. How good did it feel to be back talking to all the nice people that listen to us every Sunday morning?
Oh, I am so glad to be back. And guys, again, thank you so much for all your well wishes. It's been a rough week. Got a lot of stuff I got to take care of, but really appreciate all the love and support.
And I got to tell everybody out there, we're going to be back again Tuesday night at 10 p.m. We really do have the absolute best audience in radio. Thank you so much. Stick around at the end for the paid commercials. It's you guys that got us here. And please, folks, this week before Tuesday, you like the show, you're enjoying the show, tell 5 friends. Stacey, what you got till Tuesday?
Going home, getting some stuff together, and moving forward with a couple of publicity things. So, all good stuff.
And JD is going to give you the funny thing at the end of the Boner commercial. See you Tuesday night, folks. If it's Sunday, it's Bloody Marys and Broadsheets.
We're your cure from your weekly news hangover.
Thank you for taking it easy with us. You can find our show account on Twitter at JD and Stacey, or send us your interesting news story of the week to Game On War, that's WAAR, @gmail.com.
And you can find me on Twitter at Scott's Fire and on Facebook at Stacey Lennox.
And you can find me on the Twitters at GameOnJD.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-513-6154. That's 1-800-513-6154. Again, 1-800-513-6154. Call now.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Giggity, 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 let's have sex.